Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise, with myself, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 100. Yes, we have finally reached 100, and today we're going to be reviewing something very special to me, as it is going to be from the Boutique Whiskey Company, and it is the Invergordon 43-year-old single grain Scotch whiskey. So, if you haven't heard of Boutique, I'll leave a little link over here, or a little picture. That is Boutique Whiskey. They're an independent bottler, and they produce some absolutely jaw-dropping expressions, mouth-watering when you just see the lineup sometimes that they have at whiskey shows. Really great expressions, and this is a whiskey that I wanted to save till number 100 because it meant a lot to me last year in 2017. Now later on, you'll see my Whiskey of the Year video, and if you haven't, I'll leave it linked over here. Be sure to go and check that out when I do upload it, or it'll be linked if I've already uploaded it at some point in time. So, this is a single grain whiskey from an independent bottler called Boutique. I did taste this one in a tweet tasting, and I poured myself a little bit over here. And this is one I really want to sort of share with you. Now, grain whiskey is not seen very much in the market. A lot of people don't really respect it. And people go more because they just hear the term single malt, but single grain is what primarily makes the backbone of these blended whiskies. And I feel that people need to really start to appreciate single grain whiskey more than just necessarily always single malt. And that's something you're going to see on the channel. So I want to leave a question for today's video. What's your favorite single grain whiskey? If you haven't tried one, you can leave I haven't tried one. But without further ado, let's get into the review. So, as it's something special, let's begin with my review style structure. This is, in terms of age, is a 43-year-old whiskey. It's older than me. The ABV on this one is 48.2% ABV. This is, in terms of the cask selection, I'm not too sure, but I do know I think it's primarily bourbon casks. The actual, now it's an independent bottler whiskey, so as an independent bottler is the Boutique, well, that Boutique Whiskey Company. The actual whiskey itself is called the Invergordon 43-year-old Batch 11, just so you know the exact batch as well. Now, in terms of the actual distillery, it is from the Invergordon distillery, which is a single grain whiskey. Now, you don't really see so many Invergordons in the market. You primarily see through independent bottlings. And Boutique have done some incredible ones, a 42-year-old and a few others, which I probably see if you search online. Now, in terms of the price point, I think this was around about 120 to 150. I couldn't remember the price because it sold out before I could buy one, but when I tried this, it was that whoa moment. Now, in terms of exclusivity, yes, it's limited to 186 bottles, and in terms of caramel coloring, no color is added to the whiskey. So, as we have a dram, I will leave this and ready to go. Also, if you guys haven't, I'm going to leave a link to the ambassador for that one. I believe his name is Dave. Boutique Dave, go and check him out. He's a fantastic guy, and if you're at any of the whiskey shows here in the UK, well, I think he does some in Europe, I'm not too sure, but he does mainly all the ones here in the UK. If you see him at a whiskey show, go and say hi to him. He's an absolute gent, and he's the one who sort of got me into, started looking into all the Boutique whiskies. Made a great friend with him, and he started sharing all these Boutique whiskies, and I was like, getting into them slowly and steadily, and then when I had this one in a tweet tasting, it blew my mind. I literally had a whiskey moment. Okay, hashtag whiskey moment. Yeah, I had a whiskey moment. So it was a really good one. Now, if you already don't follow me on my social medias, I'll leave them linked over here. Go and do so on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook. But without further ado, let's begin by assessing the nose of whiskey. Because this one, it took me half an hour when I sat on the tweet tasting, and people were just like, "Where is Jason?" And I had a whiskey moment. It was magical. So, into the nose. So, to begin things on the nose of this whiskey, it is so buttery, so creamy on the nose. These are descriptions of textures, and I'm getting it on the nose of the whiskey. That just tells you how good it is. Instantly, I'm getting that coconut sort of character on this one. Like a coconut cream pie, with extra sprinkles of coconut, sort of shredded coconut all over the top of this one. A nice sort of consistent vanilla that carries on, like the vanilla essence that you get when you're baking a cake, but this one is more like vanilla essence that you're getting sort of after you bake this cake. It is sitting out on the table and you're getting that nice sweetness from the vanilla all combining itself and just lingering in the air. There is a slight character of like a fudge, or like a really sort of sweet fudge, but fudge cubes. Almost like when you open the packet and you get that sweet aroma of the fudge. And combination with that with apples, green apples, not red apples, green apples. So nice, so easy, so creamy. Let's move into the palate for this whiskey. So, into the palate. So to begin on the palate for this whiskey, just as I thought, from the nose into the palate, those aspects of creamy, buttery, silky, not waxy, buttery. As if you're sort of chewing on it. It's so lovely, and I just keep sort of rolling my tongue around the palate. It's just, those flavors just sinked in everywhere. Vanilla sponge cupcakes with a sort of glaze of royal icing, and this is plain royal icing with a nice sweetness. That coconut is there. It's almost like a coconut smoothie. Coconut with milk, cream, dare I say it, butter, making it additionally thick. Wow. This one keeps going. It actually almost reminds me of one of those snowball sweets. If you've ever had a snowball, it's like a chocolate, but with sort of dusted coconut sprinkles all over it. And it's got a nice sort of marshmallowy inside. It even reminds me of a little bit of having like white chocolate, but then a bit more coconut. The coconut just keeps coming back. This is filled with coconut, if you ask me. But so great. And a very little gingery spice, a candied ginger spice behind it. Let's move into the finish of this whiskey and then come to my conclusions. The finish for this one, long, luxurious. The aspects of vanilla are there. A little sort of peppery spice. I'm going to actually not say pepper this time. Feels more like dill. A little bit of what we call ajwain in Indian cooking. Adds a little bit of heat. A little slight grassy aspect on the finish. But it keeps going. The flavors keep going, and I can keep describing it, which is very unique. That is incredible. So, you're going to wonder, what am I going to rate this whiskey? It's one of the cards you very rarely see on my channel. Nat Boutique Whiskey Company, Invergordon, 43-year-old, is getting, batch 11, is getting the perfect mark of 100 out of 100. It is the second whiskey ever out of 748 whiskies I've tasted this year, or last year, that has just blown my mind. And again, it's done that. It's maintained it. It's incredible. I really do suggest, if you do want to experience this and you love that aspect of coconut and such a silky, buttery character, this one is just phenomenal. If you ask me about, is it value for money? It's under 150 when I last saw it. So yes, it is definitely worth its money for a 40-year-old whiskey. Does it need time? Not really. It is just perfect from the word go, like this. Does it need water? You can do if you want to reduce that little faint spice and that sort of peppery heat. I'd say like the ajwain heat. But minus that, this is just incredible whiskey. And I do suggest, if you can get your hands on this one, we went on a sample. I believe Master and Malt do sell it. Do go and get it and give it a try. Let me know your thoughts. It's just been a mind-blowing single grain whiskey. And I've tried quite a lot of grain. I've tried all the Girvans. I've tried Port Dundas, Invergordon. I've tried a few others. This has been a standout whiskey. So thank you, Boutique Whiskey, for choosing an absolute fantastic cask to bottle. And that's going to be it for whiskey review number 100. So next video, we're going to start off with 101 onwards. So here's to the next 100 videos for this year. And I'm trying to do a little bit more than 100. So on that note, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, which I will leave over here. Be sure to also check out some of my most popular videos up on screen. This has been JasonWhiskyWise. I want to say thank you guys for your support. And I'll catch you all for the next video. Salanja.